Good evening, or good afternoon, hello one and all, and welcome back of course to LCR Season 5. You join us here for Part 12 of our Part 16 saga. We are here at the Festival of Speed for the Italian Grand Prix. My name is LCR, and alongside me, T.Y. Smith, and you join us for this picturesque and historic 3.6 mile circuit with 11 turns ahead of the guys. 4 are to the left and 7 are to the right, with 2 separate DRS inspection zones and 2 activation zones. But don't look like we need them, as we will indeed need them intermediates and wets, but just in case we've got super soft and medium tyres available to the guys. But let's have a look. Just a few minutes ago we had a quite frankly thrilling, gripping and unbelievable qualifying session, and here is your grid. So on pole position, it's the man who's now got 2 pole positions to his name this season. It is Chaos Gianni. Alongside him, of course, the 2-time world champion always finds his way up there, doesn't he? Row 2 in the end is VSR Clonetroop5, the man that is a dark horse in the championship. Alongside him, the 2-time pro champion of Wastel. Row 3 in the end is the only Renault on the grid. Boris Letterbox follows shortly behind by the Dutchman of T.Y. Verstappen. The Belgian of LCR Visualising missed that one his home race last week. Starts at the front of row 4 with T.Y. Pepsi the reserve alongside him in P8. Row 5 to round up top 10 is LCR Hayden, and hello LCR Apex, who's been joining me in the Cronbox. He starts from P10. And finally ESR Amazed is the final man of 11 to round out the grid. But the guys are only just now starting their formation. That does I mention. My name's LCR Hayden, alongside me T.Y. Smith. And Smith, what a unbelievable qualifying session we just witnessed.
Oh, absolutely breathless. Some absolutely thrilling laps at the end there. Dralix pops his lap in, goes on pole, Leopard goes and beats it, and then, unbelievably, the Flying Finn comes out of not nowhere, because he's obviously got pole in kind of this season, but we didn't quite expect it, and puts an absolutely thrilling lap in to beat Leopard by, is it 6,000th of a second? Or 600ths?
600ths.
Yeah, 600ths. I always get muddled up there. But yeah, absolutely brilliant lap. And just a special shout out for 2-time pro champion Wastel with an absolutely brilliant lap to pop himself on the second row of the grid there in 4th. Indeed
it was, but of course we are, as you can see, it is ultimately heavy rain, and we are expecting the rain to continue throughout the session, so expect some very difficult conditions to say the least. But of course I'm sure the Flying Finn is used to slippery conditions because, well, he's from Finland for goodness sake. But the German of course is no stranger to wet conditions. You know, he's only won races in the wet. But Dralix of course is a man that we've got to keep our eye on. He is yet to have a win this season, but the stipulation is if he wins today, he will be ultimately 4 points behind King Leon 25, who is our current championship leader heading into this round. But of course, if Leopard takes home 25 points today, he will snatch the championship due to VSR Clonetroop retiring and King Leon 25 not being here today. But of course, we get ready for LCR to create their legacy. ESR Amaze, the final man of 11 here for the Italian Grand Prix in some very tricky conditions. I would say that, but in actual fact, Pepsi is the man at the back of the train, so he'll be the final man of the 11 to get ready to start the Italian Grand Prix. And with these conditions, we don't know what to expect. The spray is going to kick up massively down towards turn 1. We don't know what on earth is going to happen. Will we see contact? Will we see some, quite frankly, careful and cautious stuff in a turn 1? That is the beauty of motor racing. You never quite know what you are going to see. But Pepsi is now going to park up in his grid slot. We get ready for those 5 red lights for round 12 of 16 in LCR Season 5. Possibly one of the most historic seasons. Hashtag high 5 is ready for those 5 red lights. Who will come out on top? We've got 5 red lights ahead of the drive in LCR Season 5. He's off! In Italy, it's the Fenton's done of a journey. Not an okay start, but looking for Leopard. Dralix one potentially on down towards turn 1. Also Visualise there, potentially going on the inside of Wastel and T.Y. Verstappen then towards turn 1. Look at Dralix going straight to the outside. Dralix trying to go long around against Leopard down towards turn 1. Visualise also trying to pass them both as well. Look at Visualise on the back run against Wastel, but it's fairly 1 by 1 between the top 3. Wastel defending as best he can against Visualise and Verstappen. Lost out to him off the line. Boris also lost out. He's down at P6 and 7. Battling through the curve and ground. Here they come. T.Y. Verstappen drops back. Interesting. No, Visualise at a moment. He slams him in the wall. A humongous crash for LCR Visualise, and he collects Boris Letterbox. There's no good news at all for Renault. It's been a chaotic start for everyone, but Wastel gets through cleanly. Hayden has come through cleanly by finger damage. Same with Amaze, and Apex gets through. through, but Verstappen, Pepsi and Visualize and Boris all come together in a massive crash on lap number 1. But so far it's fairly clean between the leaders, but Gianni is already a second, 1.4 seconds clear as they now come out of Let's Mode 2, and that means Dralex is going to smell the opportunity to get past Leopard on lap number 1. Down towards the sky, but he shifts to the inside. I don't know if he's close enough just yet. Yes, he does. He goes to the inside, but then thinks better of it and ultimately slots in behind. But so far, so good for the flying people. Leopard's gone off, and Dralex takes full advantage, and that is just the start that the Canadian need. He's got past LCR Leopard, but other than that, it was a chaotic start. Did you see at all if there was anyone's fault for that incident towards Curva Grande, Smith?
Sadly not. I only caught the background of it when you shouted Visualize has had an absolute massive moment, but I did see obviously Boris, Verstappen, Pepsi all get collected in that crash. So I'm not sure what happened there. I think it obviously led if Visualize lost it a little bit. There's not much you can do. It's just when the ghosting system isn't the best on this game, so they probably just got collected and it was a complete accident. There's not much you can do. As Boris and Verstappen and Pepsi all now pit and Visualize. There you go. So they've all come in now, but Hayden's had a really good start here. He's come up from 9th up to 6th, and he managed to keep his nose clean in that, and he's right behind ESR Maze here. And obviously Leopard has obviously got past. He had that moment, didn't he, in a Sky on the first lap. He's taking it very, very carefully. He really struggled. He missed his braking point into Ascari on the first lap, and he's already falling down. And Waste still isn't far off the back of these boys here. We've got a really tight battle going on between the top 4 here.
It's not very often you get this, but Wastel, to be fair to him, you know, the 2-time pro champion against the 2-time world champion, there's nothing more that he would like than to take the fight to the man that, of course, won the division above him. That'd be quite frantic for him, but it was a bit of a moment there for Drax, a bit of sort of a slide out of the sky, but as we expected early on in his wet conditions. Good start, of course, for ESR Maze, who started, don't forget, he's had the qualifying ban and was down in P11, and on lap number 2, he's already up to P5, so it's just the start that the Scotsman wanted. It's also just the start that his teammate wanted as well, because, of course, they're looking to bring some solid points home today, especially, of course, with Gianni on pole position. But Dralex goes fast out of all of them, which is good news for him. He can close up towards the fin, and, well, I know, in fact, it's already lap 3, but Gianni is nowhere near out the water because Dralex is really starting to get a groove here early on.
Oh yeah, definitely. You can see there by setting the fastest lap, he means business today. He's got past Leopard already. He's starting to pull a gap on Leopard a little bit, and obviously he's catching Gianni. I wouldn't say it's going to be long before Dralex gets past Gianni here, and let's see if he can stretch his leg and see what kind of pace he has in the wet here. As I've seen in the background, just have to say that Leopard has been very scrappy so far. He's making a few uncharacteristic errors here. Running a bit wide, missing his braking points, and that's allowing Wastel to keep in touch with him here. So it's going to be really interesting. If Leopard's out, I was going to say out of DRS range there, but obviously we don't have DRS. But if they did, he is starting to get just over a second behind now.
Yeah, of course.
As Wastel
that sideboard. He's side by side and down towards the sky. That came out of absolutely nowhere. It's about half a second behind. There must have been some sort of lag or something there because he's dropped back by about 2 seconds. So there must have been a mistake or something on Leopard's part there, because what on earth just happened to him? Because now that means there's 2 seconds between Leopard and Dralex, which is just what he wants, especially, of course, because Dralex is soon going to start battling with Gianni for the race lead.
Yeah, it looked like he might have had a little bit of a screen freeze as Dralex goes even quicker, 31.9. Yeah, I think he might have had a screen freeze there because Wastel got really close real quick. And it was only coming up to Ascari. It was on the straight, so definitely looked like Leopard's having a few internet issues here.
But of course, just behind as well, if Wastel has a few more instances where Leopard starts hitting him because of lag, Amazed is going to be right on the back, and Hagen has lost quite touch for him as well.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure what's happened to him because obviously he was half a second behind Amaze, and he's really dropped off. Whether he's got damage or Amaze might have been lagging a little bit, I'm not too sure. So it's definitely one to just keep an eye on. But yeah, Amaze, look at now, he's within a second of Wastel.
Oh, sorry, Dralex on Gianni. Sorry, I thought down towards parabolic, he shifts to the inside there, and I thought he was going to go for the move, but he doesn't. There is a yellow flag though in sectors 1 and 2, and I think Visualize had another moment at the same point. That's the second time this race. But down towards turn 1, and Dralex is in the slipstream, which is just as good in the wet. Here he goes, going to shift surely to the outside. As Gianni goes defensive, and he tried to dart it around the outside for the Canadian. I don't think he can, because it was a stamp on the brakes there from Gianni, and ultimately means he'll hold that position for now. But as you can see, there's a train forming behind, which of course is Leopard, Wastel and Maze. My apologies for interrupting you there, Smith, but you know, Gianni is really starting to feel the pressure from the Canadian.
Oh yeah, definitely. He's really starting to feel the heat now, but Dralex has really got to be careful here. Like, he got really close to him on the straight there. He can't get too close, because if any slight error in these conditions, and that's it, you'll be race over, wing gone, and you'll be dropping down. So he played it cautious there. He doesn't need to get past him right now. He can just bide his time a little bit. These two are still, obviously Leopard's starting to pull back towards him now. He's only 1.6, but he's still got to be, you got to be careful in these conditions. Wastel's starting to lose a little bit to Leopard in. I think we've really got to watch out for Amazed here. He's obviously already moved up 6 positions, and he's already on the back of Wastel here. Wastel has a bit of a moment coming out of Scary. Can Amazed get him here as they go down to Parabolica?
Quite close enough just yet, as Visualize of course pits again. We did also see him move a bit further down. Boris managed to pass Verstappen in the battle of the first lap stoppers, but now we focus on the leaders first, heading down towards turn 1. Again, doesn't want to Dralex is close enough. As you can see by the helicopter cam, he is closing again up towards turn 1, but it seems to be being defended at the right places. Amazed though, shift to the inside just that little bit and starting to sort of let Wastel know that he's there, shall we say. But of course now this means that with all this train, if Amaze battles Wastel, that will give Leopard probably the breathing room he needs to sort of just compose himself a little, because it's been a frantic start for him so far.
So can Amaze take advantage? I don't think, it doesn't look like it's going to be, as Dralex is getting a little close to Gianni here to go through Ascari. Can he get a good run through here? I really think this is where he wants to get the move gun, as Gianni runs wide there, and Dralex has got a great run on Gianni as they go down here, down to Parabolica. Can he get the move done? Is he going to go for it? He's going for it, moves to the inside. He thinks against it. I think, personally, I do feel that that's the better place to make a move rather than turn 1, because obviously turn 1 is such a heavy braking zone. You can always make an error there. But they're still really close here. This is brilliant racing already from these guys in these conditions. Here we go, Dralex again down to turn 1. No, not quite close enough.
A stamp on the brakes from Gianni is good enough to hold it. You know, it's so far been so good for him, because it's just stamping on the brakes then towards turn 1. And like you said, he's got to surely start thinking, well, I'm going to have to go for the move down towards Parabolica, because it seems to be a bit of a weak spot there for Gianni. Gets a bit of sort of oversteer heading out of Ascari. Apex into the pits early on. Now, of course, tyre situation, of course, these wets do wear considerably quickly, but we expect to try and see a one-stop. Gianni, a bit of a moment there at the second Varante. That's not good news at all for him, as they now come down towards Lesmos, which means Gianni's, again, Dralex working on the back end, but this is not really too much motor manoeuvre position, especially in the full wet conditions. Even Ascari is not really deemed as too much of a chance, but of course, Dralex most certainly did it after taking a full advantage of a Leopard mistake on lap number 1, but Amaze has dropped a bit back behind Wastel. Wastel now sort of still keeping that gap behind him towards Leopard as well, so, you know, Amaze now starting to drop off. Maybe if he's pushed that a little bit too much on tyre earlier.
Yeah, possibly. I think as both Dralex and Gianni both run a bit wide there. Through Ascari, he's getting close, he's not going to be close enough again. Dralex has really got to get that run out of Ascari, and then you've got to think that's where he's going to make his move. But Gianni was really good at saying this. Leopard is caught up half a second here as Apex gets a 10-second corner cutting penalty. He must have
had a moment there at the second Varante, and he's now had a spin. So, yeah, like you said, must have been a small moment for him or something, and you know, it's meant that he's missed time, his braking or whatever. But now that means he's down to P10, Pepsi up to P9, and you know, it's good news at least, I suppose, for Pepsi.
Yeah, definitely going to get some points. What I will say, just a credit to these drivers, 5 drivers within 4 seconds of each other in full wet conditions. Credit where credit is due, because these conditions are absolutely horrendous. The only one who will be able to see properly is Gianni. Everyone else will have spray in their face, as Dralix is really, really close to the back of Gianni here. Can he get the run? Can he get the run here?
That's an okay run, but with a slipstream, that might be enough for him heading down towards Ascari. He's closing and closing. Rumble heading down towards Ascari. He shifts to the inside line, and now it's about who can hold their nerve. The Canadian trying to go around the inside, and again, he couldn't quite get it done because Gianni took sort of a swooping outside line. And now look at who's right at the back of this train all of a sudden. It's LCR Leopard who's come knocking on the door. Wasel's dropped back off as well, but down towards Parabolica. Bit of an oversteer moment for the pair of them, and all of a sudden, Leopard is right back in this fight. Dralix again doesn't go for the move down towards Parabolica, so it's again have to be surely an attempt down towards turn 1, the first Varante of 2, but he comes out towards the final corner, now down towards turn 1. He's going to close and close with the slipstream. Is he going to have a little go this time? He's probably as close as he has been, but it doesn't look as if he's close enough as we now come up towards the Prix marker boards. He shifts to the inside, finally, we're going to try and see it. Down the inside, no. Again, it's not close enough. Meanwhile, behind Amaze, just swoops past Wastel there, which is a fairly comfortable move for him. And all of a sudden, the two-time pro champ is now down to P5. And, well, Dralix and Leopard are stuck in a very Red Bull sandwich all of a sudden. And could they try and work together today to try and hinder the two behind them?
Yeah, I think you've got to think that Dralix is being very, very cautious here. He's playing it safe, and you've got to think that's really played into the hands of Leopard to let him catch back up now. Because Dralix is clearly the faster man on track, but he's just not. He's just been too cautious or not quite been close enough to get the move done. And look at Leopard now. Leopard can smell blood here. He's thinking, I can have these two. But he's got to play it careful here. He doesn't want to get any wing damage as it all come through Ascari here. But I don't think it'll be very long either until Amaze is on the back of these as Wastel gets a 3-second time penalty. Now he's got past.
Oh, Dralix to the outside, sorry, down towards Parabolic. He's finally gone for the move. Poor exit from Gianni. Could this be the opportunity? There is a crash between Dralix and Gianni, and that is unbelievable and disastrous news for him. He gets away with just about. Amaze might get back on the track just before him as well. He will indeed, and now Amaze is in the podium position. Leopard now going to the outside against Gianni down towards turn 1, and it's the ultimate opportunity. It's like a money in the bank cash in for him all of a sudden. The parting of the Red Seas works beautifully for LCR Leopard, and he has the race lead. Who'd have thought anyone would have said that?
Oh my god, unbelievable. Leopard cannot believe his luck right now. I saw that coming though. I knew Gianni moved back in. You can't get that too close to someone on this game. It's just going to send them into a spin. But what I will say, real credit to Dralix there to control the car, because that he could have easily gone into the wall, but he managed to keep it. I don't think he's got wing damage. But this has really brought everyone really close together here now. This top 5 trade is so tight. And one little mistake like that, obviously not much Dralix could do there, but it's brought them all back together again. So here we go for round 2. Can Dralix make his way back up and get anywhere near Leopard?
But now the two Red Bulls are close together, and this is really the first time we're going to see if they are on the same page ever so slightly, because of course Amaze is a new teammate for Gianni. Of course, he's had Phoenix Edge and the Super Swede all season. Then all of a sudden, to have this Scotsman come in, you know, are they going to be potentially on the same page as working together? Because of course, Amaze so far in terms of race pace has been quicker than Gianni, has got to be said.
Oh yeah, definitely. And they all Amaze had a bit of a have a great come out of the chicane there at the first turn 1 there, and that's allowed Dralix. Dralix goes to the outside here. Amaze defending the inside. Let's go side by side here.
Good late braking stuff there from Amaze, though. Means he holds it, and again, Dralix just weren't able to hold his nerve under braking. He's really not having a good time, but he just then gets a sort of massive snap oversteer out of the second Varante again, and he's just not able to hold his nerve out there today. There seems to be something sort of hindering him. He doesn't seem quite confident in overtaking, and you know, now he's gone to show it again and has now lost out another second. And whilst this is happening, Leopard has now got a 1.3 second lead over Gianni.
Let's see if Dralix has, if he can compose himself, bring him back into this race. There's still 15 laps of this race. Obviously, there's still plenty of time for him to get back into the mix here. So we'll just have to see what can happen.
course, in full wet conditions, you know, it's not unlikely for, you know, races to go a little bit longer, which means you have a bit more time, but at the same time, you still have to try and hold your nerve and get the overtakes done, as he's trying to do again on Amaze. He's close and close. He's got, in fact, very close now. Amaze actually dropped a little bit back to Gianni, but there you go. You can now just see it now. Gianni is now around about 2 seconds behind Leopard, so just think of the time that Dralex has lost, but he's got to try and make it back up. Maybe an undercut could be on the cards for him when it comes to first stops. Maybe even as soon as this lap, just try and get yourself in, get yourself on the power down and get yourself going in some clean air, and you can potentially undercut all of these guys because of how powerful it is in the wet. What would you do in this situation, Smith?
I think he has nothing to lose right now. As Leopard sets another fastest lap, he's got to be thinking, the only way he's going to get back into this race is by doing the undercut. Because he's got nothing to lose, he's down in 4th, he's been a bit too cautious. If he can get like a little bit of, like you said, clean air and really push for a lap, maybe 2, we could see him bring him right as Waystle gets a 5-second stop go for corner cutting. I would, if I was Dralex, I would pit.
Yeah, indeed he has. He needs to do something. He needs to be either get some overtakes done and get your hammer down on these worn wets, or come in and pit for yourself, because of course, you know, like we said, the wets do wear, so you know the guys are definitely going to have to make a stop unless they're going to try and make them last, which may result in, well, a puncture. There's no other word for it. Your tyres are going to go pop. Let's see if any of the leaders come in. Leopard's not going to come in. Gianni is actually going to come in this lap. Dralex is going to do the same, and now he's going to try the undercut on the Red Bull that was in third, which is now just made up in second. Waystle just can't have a good day. So he's got a 5-6 stop go for corner cut earlier in the lap, and now he's got a 5-second stop go for speeding in the pit lane. One thing that was crucial to mention there was Waystle just about managed to come out. I mean, Gianni got quite lucky there in the fact that Waystle didn't hold him up so much, but Waystle is somewhat stuck in the pits. I don't know if he's going to do the swoop round. He's not moving anywhere, but of course he probably
he's having his wing changed. He's just having his wing changed. As Hayden's had a moment there, coming out the second Lesmo. Gianni's got past him.
Goes Gianni.
Yeah.
That's good news for Gianni though, because that means then there's a car in between himself and Dralex. Now, of course, you know, Hayden being part of Team LCR, speaking of that, LCR Leopard is now into the pits. Amazed is going to stay out, so he's now thinking about a longer game, maybe thinking about fresh wets towards the end, or even trying to do a no-stop, which I just think is pathetic. But out of the pits comes Leopard, fairly takes his... Oh no, he doesn't, he now respawns nice and gently. He should come out safely to Gianni, but of course the gap would have probably come down a little bit, but out of the pits he comes and now gets up to speed.
It's going to be closer than you think, this. This is going to be closer than you think here, with Leopard on cold tyres and these guys on an extra lap. Gianni's going to really caught up here. Let's go through the first chicane there,
this is good news for Dralex, because, you know, of course, if Gianni's closed up as much as he has in comparison to Leopard, think about the amount that he's closed up over not just one lap, but 2 on Amaze. Around the outside goes Dralex on Hayden. I think they'll have the move done nice and easy. I don't know if Hayden will come back under brakes. No, he thinks better of it, and Dralex is now up in the P4 as Hayden continues to struggle on his worn wets and now ultimately has to concede defeat. Let's keep an eye on Amaze. Let's see if he comes into the pits, because of course his gap now is continuing to come down, and I think Amaze might have done the wrong call here.
Yeah, it's still... It's going to be close. I mean, look at Gianni. Look how much... Gianni's 1.2, so the undercut has been absolutely unbelievable by those guys. If Dralex can catch Gianni as well, now he's managed to get past Hayden. I think Hayden just took on that move. I think Hayden did the wise move there, not to kind of get in the way. He knows Dralex is faster. Obviously Hayden's not pit yet either, so it's just a wise move not to kind of get in his way and let him try and catch up to the leaders. As Amaze stays out again. So Amaze has decided not to.
Maybe he is going to try it. Maybe he is going to try the impossible. I mean, why not? You know, at the end of the day, he's not had a good season. He's not really battling for anything in terms of championship points. Why not just give it a go and see what happens? But now that means it's going to be ultimately a sort of cat and mouse game with himself and Leopard, as the gap's just going to continue to tumble down. But why not?
He's got nothing to lose, has he? He's got nothing to lose. He's got 18 seconds in hand here. As Hayden pits.
My apologies, but Hayden's on intermediates. Hayden is out on a fresh set of inters. So I don't quite know, but maybe he has got something to do. If Gianni gets a free set, that's going to be crucial in terms of Dralex later in the race as well as of course in terms of Leopard. But I suppose it does look lighter. I can understand why Hayden's gone for that. But are they actually faster?
Amaze does finally now pit. I don't think, yeah, the overcut's not really worked for him there. He's gone down to 4th.
That got me wondering. After, of course, we saw Hayden coming for a set of I was wondering, is Amaze trying to wait to see if the intermediates were going to become the better tyre? But, of course, he might have had no option a bit. But as you can see, I know, of course, Verstappen and Boris are on fairly used wets, but he is sticking to him. You know, he's holding on to him, so maybe it is getting lighter.
As Waistel gets another 5-second stop go penalty. It's not been his day after an absolutely brilliant qualifying, sadly for Waistel. Penalties are getting the better of him here.
Of course, all the leaders have made their commitment. They're all on wets. But if you were someone like Boris or Verstappen, you know, you've had a pretty diabolical race after an early pit stop into a massive pile-up. You know, maybe you are thinking, maybe it could go on in this.
As Hayden is now a 10th up on his time, on his fastest lap there, as Dralex and obviously Dralex and Leopard trade fastest laps. So this really could make things interesting. When we just thought things were going to could just dull down a little bit, is Boris and Verstappen has got past Boris. Just while I've been talking about Hayden. Hayden has caught up a second in this lap. He's now 1 second behind. He does a 32 flat, so it's not the fastest, but he has caught up on the boys ahead of him by nearly a second in that lap. So
makes you think.
It does. This could be interesting.
Boris is on inters. Boris is coming for a set of intermediates.
Could we see an unlikely story unfolding here as we go into the last 10 laps of this race?
It's still chucking it down quite a bit out there, but of course it's not so bad. You know, it looks quite calm, shall we say. You know, it definitely looks smoother than what it did at the race start, let's put it that way. It's definitely gotten lighter.
Just to report, sorry to put in, as Amaze goes quick as the third, Hayden goes 7/10 quicker through the second sector. He is 7/10 up on his lap. Look how close he is to Verstappen now. Obviously Verstappen's going to pit, so he's going to be out of his way here in a second. But is it intermediate conditions? The rain is definitely lighter than it was. It's still heavy, don't get me wrong. But here we go. He goes a 30, goes 8/10 quicker on that lap. He's still did a 31, so not as quick as the guys up front, but he is on absolutely rapid. He goes on the inside of Verstappen here. Into one, Verstappen. Oh, that's really tight. Verstappen, I won't get involved really because you, my friend, still have to pit.
Yeah, it's a bit of a meaningless battle for Verstappen, but he's going to do his best heading through Curva Grande. He's going to try and hold it down the inside, of course, on very, very, very old wets. I don't think he'll have enough under brakes. Not quite. He gets very close to tagging the back of Hayden there, which would have been very bad news. But now keep an eye on Boris. I know for a fact Boris has got some decent pace in the wet, so if he's going to really start pushing in some good laps, even possibly fastest lap on the inters, then that could be a strategic masterclass.
And he has gone quicker, and just on board with him myself there, he has gone just under a 10 quicker through the first sector.
Yeah, that's the if Verstappen's in. Let's see if he follows what Boris and Hayden have done and gone on to a set of intermediates. He's into the pits. Comes the Dutchman. Is he about to retire, though? That's the question. That's something we usually ask, because, of course, the Sauber team's still not there. There's full new automated service for you when you come into the pits. You don't get the fact of the pit crew. You now just come straight in as he spins his way out, and he does, in fact, go on to inters as Boris goes fastest, 30.7. That really is got to be a sign that intermediates are the better tyre. Hayden, of course, is going to close up towards Waistel, and all of a sudden, we're licking our lips that we've got an absolute cat and mouse game on our hands.
Oh yeah, this could be really interesting. If it's still, I still think it's very close. It's not quite full intermediates just yet, but Boris has just shown that come the last, I think maybe in a couple of laps time, intermediates could be the one, and the guys at the front could be holding on for dear life on their wet tyres, but we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, don't forget, of course, Gianni has a 3-second time penalty to serve anyway, so Gianni will still get demoted down to P3, and Dralets will come home P2 and still will not have a race victory to his name this season. I thought really this was going to be his best chance. Finally, he's going to see himself on the top step of the podium. He's yet to have it, and it still again looks like another day where he will not. But we've still got some more racing left to be done, and of course, Leopard still could get a 3-second time penalty. All it takes is one mistake. Gianni is now 8/10 behind Dralek, and maybe Dralek's just trying to throw one last throw of the dice here, trying to chuck the kitchen sink at everything for these final few laps.
Yeah, I've been on board with Dralek for this lap, and he was a 10th up on his first set time. He's only 1/10 off his fastest lap there, so he really, he doesn't like, he might not know that Gianni has a penalty, but obviously we know that he doesn't have to get past him on track. He will finish P2 regardless, other than if he gets a penalty himself, and then obviously he will have to get past him. Just to have a quick note, Stafford is catching Boris, 1.3 seconds behind, and Dralek is within a second of Gianni here.
Leopard now making his way comfortably round towards Lesmos. He can probably really take the foot off the gas, just that little bit, just make sure he gets over the line at this point and watch the gap sort of come down behind him to Gianni, which gets us excited, but at the same time, it's really just because Leopard is sort of giving himself a bit of a time and will now take the championship lead for what will be, I believe, the 3rd time this season.
Top 3 in the championship within 20 points. That is just gonna, and Singapore next week, you can easily make a mistake there. The hardest race, I don't know whether you agree with me here, Nuthead, but if we just look ahead to next week, Singapore probably the hardest race of the season.
Yeah, we will see some turning points, to say the least. You know, we saw it at Monaco, where of course it was another street track, and I don't want to say what happened there, but one word, carnage, and we might see that again at Singapore, especially if we get the conditions that we've seen today. It's going to be a very, very, very difficult and a turning point and potentially championship ending for one of the guys. But one thing that's crucial to mention is Leopard has done phenomenally well today. He took advantage of what was a very sticky situation. He had a very cagey and nervy start, but now all he's got to do is negotiate his way simply around the Ascari section, and to be honest with you, Smith, he deserves full props for what he's done.
Yeah, he didn't have the start he wanted. He lost out a little bit at the start, but he dropped back a little bit, but then he kind of composed himself, brought him back in, and then he took full advantage of the Gianni and Dralek incident as he comes round the Parabolica for the final time to win the Italian Grand Prix. LCR Leopard becomes your new championship leader with that victory.
Smith, any final thoughts?
Not obviously, really up to that first pit stop, absolutely breathless action between pretty much the top 5 really, and obviously personally my driver of the day, ESR and Mace, absolutely brilliant. Started last up to obviously P4, so brilliant for him. But yeah, really good race. Tough conditions to the driver. So, and all, let's just say credit to all of them, like I said before, all 11 drivers finished.
But that is going to be the end of that. Thank you guys very much for watching. Congratulations to our 3 podium sitters, of course, then being LCR Leopard with the race victory, VSR Clonetroop5 P2, and KRC Gianni with his first podium of the season in P3. But that is that. Thank you guys very much for watching, and see you same time, same place next week when we travel to the streets of Singapore. Thank you guys, and goodbye.